When we discuss the first dimension, when we discuss the first stage of life, when we discuss, you know, what it means to be at the primary level, to be at the base level of existence, the base level of understanding, a sentient being. We discuss living in this world with sensory perceptions. That means sight, hearing, touch, taste, and yeah, the five senses, and smell, right? Sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. Those are the five senses, and that is the sensory level of perception, right? When we talk about advancing beyond that, what do we mean by advancing beyond that, the five senses? We start talking about the sixth sense. And I ain't talking about the movie. I'm not talking about seeing dead people. I'm talking about there's a sixth sense. There's a sixth sense that can't be explained by what we can see. Because when we talk about the primary senses, sight, smell, hearing, touch, and taste, this is stuff that you can see. You can see, this is stuff that you can prove exists, right? When we talk about the sixth sense, we talk about a higher level of dimension, a higher level of being. We talk about a higher world of existence, right? How can you explain when I meet someone, I can sense when they're a good person or a bad person? How can you explain that? I can't see it, I can't hear it, I can't smell it, I can't touch it, and I can't taste it. How can you explain that I can sense when someone is a good or a bad person and operates outside the five senses? How can you explain the phenomena of people having dreams that predict the future? How can you explain that? That doesn't get explained by the five senses. How can you explain spiritual phenomena? How can you explain people seeing spirits? It's not easily explained by the five senses, and it's not easily provable, right? It seems that there is another aspect of the physical world, and we talk about the sensory level. We talk about the five senses, and we talk about the physical world. Our five senses help us interact with the physical world. But what helps us interact with the spiritual world? Can everyone interact with the spiritual world? Not really. It requires a higher level of existence. It requires a higher level of energy. It requires a higher level of growth and understanding. When people say they have trouble sensing the spiritual world exists, that's because in order to sense the spiritual world, you must have taken the initiative to grow already. You must have taken the initiative to grow at least a little bit. Pretty much everyone can sense the physical world. We all know the physical world is real. When we talk about higher dimensions like spiritual world, a lot of people can't sense it and they write it off because they can't sense it. And that's because it requires growth. It requires understanding. It requires good karma. It requires aligning oneself with God. And it is not something that is as easily seen or experienced by everyone in the physical world. God only allows certain people to grow and experience those higher levels of dimensional being.